team, it's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with what's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans. I'm very intrigued by this one. What y'all constantly having to explain to us? We gonna find out. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all up top. You don't subscribe to any of it, put all the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me, shoot me. I talk back. If you got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon and drop it in the comment section. What we got?
What's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans? I'll go first. Greek Easter. Oh my God. So Greek Orthodox Easter and all Orthodox Easters fall on a different day typically than Catholic Easter, which is what the US observes as a national holiday. So growing up, I always had to explain like, no, my Easter's on a different day. My boss legit thought I was trying to get out of work one year. And I was like, no, it's real. And our Easters are so different. Like, we don't have an Easter egg hunt. There's no Easter bunny. We don't do that. We go to church 18 times a week and roast a full lamb. It's a vibe.
Dang.
What's something about your
Church 18 times a week? Oh my. That's a lot of church. That's a lot of church. I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know. But that sounds dope. Roast a full lamb. I'm sure it is a vibe. You get to be around people. I'm sure it is, but I couldn't do it.
18 times a week and roast a full lamb. It's a vibe. What's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans?
This applies not only to Americans, but to anyone who's not Jewish. We're not just a religion. Stop thinking we're just a religion. I know it's so convenient to some of y'all to compare us to Christians or Muslims, which is great. No disrespect, we share a lot of aspects. Both of those religions are based on Judaism to an extent. You have no idea how much it minimizes what Judaism is and what the Jewish people are when you refer to it as simply a religion. If you actually look into Judaism, you'd see that it's not only about our relationship with God, but it's also about our relationship with the land of Israel, from which the Jewish people originate. For example, we have so many laws that tell us how to perform agriculture in the land of Israel, and they only apply to that land. So if you want to understand better what the Jewish people are, I'd say the first step is to understand that we are an actual nation that comes from an actual land, the land of Israel. This is such a bad angle. Thank you for listening. Good night.
What's something about
Shout out to him, because I like the way he definitely went into depth in explaining that. And he said it's not just a religion, it's a people, it's a nation. And it's not just about our relationship with God, it's about our relationship with the land.
An actual land, the land of Israel. This is such a bad angle. Thank you for listening. Good night.
What's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans?
Starbucks isn't a thing in Italy. I know there's a Starbucks that opened
Really?
in Milan in 20...
Oh, y'all be having them like real coffee shops, like them real coffee shops. Hey, is that it? Is that why?
Starbucks isn't a thing in Italy. I know there's a Starbucks that opened in Milan in 2018. And I know that they're thinking of opening a Starbucks in Rome this year, 2021. But think about it. Milano, Roma, these are tourist cities. Italians want nothing to do with Starbucks. You can get the most amazing coffee in the world in Italy. Italians perfected coffee. So in Italy, Starbucks, it isn't important. In fact, American-style coffee to Italians is known as acqua sporca, or dirty water, because it's basically watered-down coffee. Italians are used to espresso, which is very concentrated coffee with a little bit of water. Getting like a frappuccino from Starbucks wouldn't really even be considered getting a coffee. It's more like a dessert because of all the cream and the sugar and everything that's going on in there. So nothing against Starbucks, but Italians, we kind of know our coffee.
What's something about your culture?
I told you it's because they got the real coffee shop, the real. I think Starbucks, it's just convenient. I mean, you drive through, get you whatever you want, a frappuccino, an espresso, whatever you want. Drive through, get your cup, and pretty good sized cup. Very expensive, so I don't even like coffee. But even if I did, I wouldn't do it because it's too expensive.
Nothing against Starbucks, but Italians, we kind of know our coffee.
I feel you.
What's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans?
Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. I have to keep explaining it that it's not Mexican Halloween. I also have to explain that sugar skulls are not Halloween decorations. There's actually meaning behind those sugar skulls.
Talk to me.
There's a purpose for them. And people use the excuse, well, other cultures use skulls as decoration. Okay, but sugar skulls are not decorations. They're not Halloween decorations. And I have to keep explaining this because a lot of people think Day of the Dead is Mexican Halloween. It's not Mexican Halloween. It's its own holiday.
I got you.
Something about your culture
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I watched that movie. I can't remember the name of the movie. Y'all know the Disney animated movie? Was it Coco? Was it Coco? Y'all know the movie I'm talking about. Where it was kind of about Dia de los Muertos. It was an amazing, incredible movie. But I understand where he's coming from. It's not Mexican Halloween at all. That's blasphemous.
Halloween, it's its own holiday.
What's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans?
Okay, I got a good one. In this one, people always get so confused. But I'm telling you, I feel like it goes for every single Latino or Hispanic household.
Give it to me.
If you come to my house, you come to see me, doesn't matter if you come to see me, you have to say hello to my parents before we go about our business and go hang out, watch a movie, whatever. You must say hello to them first. Because trust me, you don't want to know what they say about you when you leave when you don't say hi to them first. I don't know what it is or where it started, but they immediately think that person is rude, ungrateful, disrespectful. And trust me, like the rest of my friendship with you, I will be battling to try to defend you.
Something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans.
The way we say hello, the way we greet each other, that's what I always had to explain. When I was in college and I would hang out with other Latino people in front of my American classmates, I would say hello the way that we say hello. Of course, this varies from region to region and from country to country, but it's always kind of similar. We say hello by kissing each other's cheeks, particularly in South America. Now, this can be one kiss or two, like mwah, mwah, like that. And that, of course, sometimes is followed with a hug. And being who we are, we're always very loud and boisterous and happy, like we haven't seen that person in 15 years and we've known them for 10. When in reality, it's just this classmate that shares one class with you that you see from time to time in the hallway. Almost every time I had to explain to my American classmates that they were not a family member or a close friend, that we were just saying hello.
What's something about your culture?
I feel that. I like that. And yeah, you say hello, you give 2 kisses, you give a hug, you're loud, you're boisterous, it's kind of the same thing with us, except for the 2 kisses thing. We just don't do that. There would be too much complaints about it. Yeah, keep it rolling.
Not a family member or a close friend, that we were just saying hello.
What's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans?
Kubari. You think an American knows what a kubari is? I told my bridesmaids I had to pick kubari, a kubara, a kubaro for my ramo, and they were like, a what? Y'all getting koalas at your wedding? Is that a Greek singer that I need to know? Ceci, is that a drink? Novra Malaka. I explained it as the best man / maid of honor for the Greeks. But then they're like, I thought Bobby was your best man. And I'm like, yes, the American best man. But when we hopefully have kids one day, we need a Greek version. And that's when I called my best friend Andreana and my cousin Andrea and I said, Ella, who wants ample responsibility and expenses? Because then you have to explain to the Americans about the Stefana. And they're like, you wear crowns? For another day.
What's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans?
Greek name days. So my birthday falls in July, and my family will wish me a happy name day in August. And my friends were like, wasn't your birthday just a month ago? Like, yeah, it was, but this is something different.
What is
so
it?
Then I have to go through the process of explaining to them what a name day is, which can get really confusing. So I go on to explain that in the Greek church, every day is dedicated in a memory of a saint. And name days are about honoring the saints of whose name you carry. So they look at me like I got 4 heads. And they're like, oh, so it's like a second birthday. Like, no, but sure, we'll go with that.
What's something about your...
She just told you what it is. She literally just told you what it was. And how can you say, oh, like a second birthday? We just try to make things so relatable to help us understand better, I think, is a thing. I think that's what it is.
Birthday. Like, no, but sure, we'll go with that.
What's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans?
Since you guys all like the whole like Polish word thing last time, I thought I'd do another one of these. This does not signify a Polish person's culture. Pierogi. And you guys also have the audacity to pronounce it pierogi. Pierogi! It's pierogi. Say it with me now.
Pierogi.
Pierogi. There you go. Literally every time I introduce myself, whether it be in school or in person to someone, everyone sees my last name and they're like, oh, you're Polish. And I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, you must love pierogis. A, not every Polish person has to love pierogis. B, you're pronouncing it wrong, it's pierogi. And C, time to make pierogi. Yeah. Bye.
What's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans?
Having to constantly explain to Americans that Egyptians come from Africa. If you don't know, Egypt is in the top corner of Africa. Look at a globe or a map or something. That's the first thing. Second thing.
I'm gonna say that I knew that. I'm just kidding. I'm terrible at geography, guys. I'm so bad. But I'll say I knew that just so I don't seem as dumb.
Of Africa. Look at a globe or a map or something. That's the first thing. Second thing. No, I don't ride a camel everywhere I go when I go there. No, I take a plane. There's cars. It's a city like any other city. I had one girl tell me one time, oh, I thought you guys were extinct like the dinosaurs. It was in high school. Lord Jesus. And just because I'm Egyptian doesn't mean I am in particularly one religion or I like one religion over the other. I happen to be Coptic Orthodox. There is Muslims. There is Jews. There is every religion in the Egyptian culture. And that's what makes us different.
What's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans?
Okay, so I'm Cameroonian American, and there are a few things, I think this is going to be mainly for African households, but there are a few things that you cannot do. One, you cannot accept something with your left hand. I don't know where that one came from, but
really?
Left hand is a no-no. Secondly, if they're your elder, they're either auntie or uncle. You do not call people by their first name. It's a no-no. Another thing, if you come to visit, please say hello to the elderly person in the room. If you don't, they're going to consider it rude. If someone dies, we go to a wake, and that can usually last till the next day. I know.
Dang.
If someone dies abroad, we need to send their bodies back home to Africa. That one gets people. My favorite, we speak super loud. On the phone, to each other, we're just really loud people in general. Now you know.
About your culture that you constantly have to...
So get ready for this. Burritos, they're not Mexican. They're Tex-Mex. So if you ever go to a Mexican city, I'm talking about a legit Mexican city, not something like a tourist area like Cancun or Cabo. If you ask for a burrito, they're gonna look at you and think you're weirdo because they don't have that on the menu. It's not a traditional Mexican dish. It's something that was basically Americanized. Yep.
What's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans?
We don't believe in elves. We don't.
No, I'm pretty sure you believe in elves because I saw it in a YouTube clip.
No. And also, Vikings. Yeah, you guys have to, read up about the Icelandic sagas because the Vikings TV show is not accurate. It's not accurate.
But why is it on the History Channel then?
Oh, and I read this thing that you can...
Yeah, but why is it on the History Channel then?
Oh, and I read this thing that you guys have an app, like an incest app.
No, we don't. That's not the purpose of... Oh my God.
What's something about your culture that you constantly have to explain to Americans?
Hey, Catherine the Canadian here. I'll say it. Please find attached a map of all of North America, and I'd like to draw your attention to aspects of Canada that actually are further south than some states you find in the United States. Therefore, all of Canada is not freezing.
What's a line from the TV show?
That is very interesting, and that's something that I've never looked at. Oh my gosh. That's all we got for this one, guys. If you guys got a favorite video suggestion, subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all up top. You can subscribe to any of it. Follow the links in the description. All you got to do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Love talking to you guys. You guys are the most incredible team on YouTube. It's your boy D Neal. Out.